today we're going to be reviewing our polynomials, adding and subtracting. You'll be having a test on Wednesday, so you'll want to make sure that you understand what's going on. Okay, so what I recommend you doing before watching the whole video is go ahead and try the problems and then come back to the video and watch and see if you got the right answer, and then watch the explanation if you didn't. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and pause it now and do the work, and then start the video back when you have got your answer. Okay, so now that you've tried it, let's see how you did. We're adding the polynomials, which means we're going to find our like terms. So I have 3a and I have another a. So I'm going to write that down, 3a plus a, and then I have a positive 7, and then I have a minus 1. Okay, so now these are my like terms, 3a plus a. There's an understood 1 here, so 3 plus 1 is 4. So I have 4a values plus 7 minus 1. Okay, these are also like terms, so I'm going to say 7 take away 1 is 6, so that will be plus 6. So my answer is 4a plus 6. Okay, so let's now go ahead and pause the video and check the next answer. Alright, so again we're looking for like terms. These are getting a little longer, so one of the things you might want to do is the method of stacking your polynomials so the like terms will line up. So here's my first polynomial, x squared plus 6x minus 5, and then 2x squared would go under the x squared, and 15 would go over here under the minus 5. Okay, and then I can add this way. So I have an understood 1 here. 1 plus 2 is 3, so that'll be 3x squared. I don't have anything to add to the 6x, so just bring it on down. And then negative 5 plus 15 is a positive 10. Okay. Alright, so that's adding polynomials. I'm sure you did well. Let's go on to subtracting the polynomials. Okay, again, pause, work, and then check your answer. Okay, so now we have a subtraction sign here. Okay, so what we're going to want to do first is, I really don't want to do subtraction. I'm going to change that to an addition sign. But the way I'm able to do that is if I take this subtraction and I distribute it to the others. So I think of this as multiplying everything by negative 1 inside this parentheses. So what does that do? That changes the sign that was there. So since this was positive y squared, I multiply it times negative 1, I get negative y squared. And I multiply here, a negative times a negative is positive 5y, and then a negative times a negative is positive 2. Okay, and then over here I have negative y squared plus y plus 2. Alright, so now I just want to find my like terms and get them together. So I have negative y squared plus negative y squared. So I know there's an understood 1 here in front of both. So negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2, and then I just write down the y squared. Okay. And I have my y term. There's an understood 1 here in front of the y, and we have positive 1y plus 5. So 1 plus 5 is 6. And then I bring down my y. Okay, and then finally I have constants. Positive 2, or 2 plus 2 is 4. Now my polynomials are added together, or I've subtracted them. Yes. Alright, so p plus 7 minus 6p plus 13. Again, I want to distribute that negative or minus to everything on the other, inside of the other parentheses. So there'll be minus 6p minus 13. And I still have p plus 7 up here at the front. Okay, so I look for like terms. So I have 1p minus 6p. So 1 minus 6 is negative 5. I'll write down the p. Positive 7 and minus 13 are both constants. 7 take away 13 is negative 6. Okay, that's all my terms, so I'm done. Alright, so that's adding and subtracting. Now we're going to go to multiplying polynomials. Right? So go ahead and try these and then start the video up when you're ready to check your answers. Alright, so in polynomial multiplication we had a couple of different ways we wrote it. I'm a personal fan of the box, so I'm going to do this first one using the box. Okay, and what we said we would do with this is we would line up what we're multiplying by on the outside. So x plus 6 and x minus 4. And it's okay if you put x plus 6 on the left and x minus 4 on top. That'll work as well. Alright, so we multiplied x times x. So like bases, we add the exponents. Understood ones, so 1 plus 1 is 2. So that's x to the second power. Then we multiply x times 6. Well, you just write those two down together because you can't actually multiply 6 and x. Alright, and then x times negative 4, same thing, negative 4x. And then finally 6 times negative 4, which is negative 24. Okay, so now that we've multiplied in, we want to look and see if we have any like terms, which we do here in the corners. We have 6 and negative 4 x's. So we do 6 plus negative 4, which turns out to be 2. And then we have the minus 24. It doesn't have a like term, so we just write it down. X squared doesn't have a like term, so we write it down. So x squared plus 2x minus 24 is my answer. Okay, now I know some of you didn't really care for the box method. So what we're going to do is we're going to, we'll use the vertical method. Okay, and it doesn't matter what you write on top. So I'm going to write 3y plus 8, and then I'm going to write y minus 5. Okay. So I multiply negative 5 times 8 is negative 40. Negative 5 times 3y is negative 15y. And y times 8 is 8y, and y times 3y is 3y squared. Put a plus sign there up front to show that it was positive 8. We're adding 8y. Okay, so now we have multiplied and we want to add our two rows together. So negative 40 just comes on down. Negative 15 plus 8 is negative 7y. And then 3y squared just comes down. And there's my answer. Okay, the next one, we have x squared plus 4 times x squared plus 7x. Alright, I'm going to show this one using the distributive method. We're going to multiply x squared times both terms over here. So x squared times x squared and x squared times 7x. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times 7x is 7x to the 3rd power. Okay, then we take the 4, multiply it times x squared, get positive 4x squared. We take 4 and multiply it times 7x, and we get 28x. Okay, we don't have any like terms. It's in standard form, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we are done here. Okay, I'm going to erase this off of here so that we have some space. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to multiply. I'm going to go back to the box on this one because I kind of like it. And I've got 2 terms times 3 terms. So 3 terms and 2 terms. So this will be negative 3y plus 1. And this will be, we'll have 4y squared minus y minus 7. Now we multiply. 4y squared times negative 3y is negative 12y to the third power. Negative 3y times negative y is positive 3y squared. Negative 3y times negative 7 is positive 21y. 1 times 4y squared is 4y squared. 1 times negative y is negative 1y. 1 times negative 7 is negative 7. Okay, so we want to combine our like terms. And I identify them, they're here on the diagonals because I've set my polynomials in standard form. Alright, 4 plus 3 is 7, so that's going to be 7y squared. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1y. And then my negative 12y to the third just comes down, and so does my minus 7. And that's my answer. Alright. Now we have our special products. Okay, so again, you're going to want to pause, work your problems, and then check your answers. Okay, so on special products, we had a couple of different rules. This first one seems to be following the rule of a plus b and a minus b, because we have x and x, so that's our a value, and 9 and 9, that's going to be our b value. And that rule said when you multiply a plus b times a minus b, you get a squared minus b squared. So a is x, so we're going to say x squared, minus b is 9, 9 squared. So x squared is just x squared, 9 squared is 81, so minus 81. Okay, this one seems to be following the same rule. A plus b, a minus b. So we'll have 2y squared minus 4 squared. So here we'll get 4y squared minus 16. Okay, now in this one we're adding two numbers and it says squared. So that's the same thing as saying p plus 4 times p plus 4. And the rule here, right, when we have a plus b squared, the rule says you'll have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So our a is p, so we're going to have p squared plus 2 times p times 4, and then we'll have 4 squared. So that's still p squared. 2 times 4 is 8, so 8p, and then 4 squared is 16. Right, 2d minus 1 squared. It's going to look a lot like the previous one, except when you have a minus b squared, you get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, so 2d squared minus 2 times 2d times 1 plus 1 squared. Okay, so 2d squared is 4d to the second power, minus 2 times 2d times 1 is negative 4d, and then we have 1 squared, which is 1. Right, and then dividing polynomials, our favorite. Okay, so you can use long division or you can use synthetic division. Right? For these three, long division is the recommended way to do them. Synthetic works really well when you don't have a leading coefficient other than 1. Okay, but synthetic division will work, and I'll show you how to do one of these with synthetic. But this first one's pretty straightforward. We just take 36x and divide it by 9x. Okay. So 36 divided by 9 is 4. X divided by x, they're the same, so that's 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay. So I'm going to put a 4 here over the 3 because I have 2 terms and I have them dividing into 2 terms. Okay. So 4 times 9 is 36. Then we write down the x. 4 times 4 is 16. Then we subtract the whole thing. So 36 take away 36 is 0. 3 take away 16 is negative 13. Okay. We have nothing left to bring down, so my answer is 4 plus negative 13 divided by 9x plus 4. Okay, so now this one is set up nicely. We could do synthetic division if we wanted to. In this one, I can go ahead and do long division, or I could use synthetic because it has a leading coefficient of 1, so that makes it really easy. If I want to do this as synthetic, I take the x minus 3, set it equal to 0, solve for x. So x has to equal 3. Okay, so I take 3, put it outside as my multiplier. I have 11, negative 3, and 16. Those are my coefficients. Actually, 16 is a constant. Right, and then I just bring down that 11, because I always bring down the first number. Multiply by 3, so that's 33. Add these two together, and I get positive 30. Multiply 3 times 30 is 90. Add 16 and 90, and you get 106. Okay. So my answer is going to be 11x plus 30 plus 106 divided by x minus 3. Alright, so here we have 2x minus 3, and we're going to divide it into negative 16x squared minus 26x minus 13. Alright, so I told you guys I would show you one that we could do synthetic division, even though it wasn't a leading coefficient of 1. So we'll start off by taking what we're dividing by and setting it equal to 0, and then solving for x. So we'd add the 3. We get 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. So x equals 3/2. So the number we want to write outside of our synthetic box, division box, is 3/2. Okay. Then inside is negative 16, negative 26, and negative 13. Alright, so we bring down the negative 16. We multiply that times 3/2, and we get negative 24. We add negative 26 and negative 24, and we get negative 50. We multiply, and we get negative 75. And then we add, and we'll have negative 88. Now, the last term in synthetic division is always our remainder. So the remainder is going to be negative 88 over 2x minus 3. But here, our negative 16 and our negative 50, because we divided by 2, we have to divide them by 2 as well. So we'll have negative 8 and then that'll be negative 8x actually. Okay, and then negative 50 divided by 2 is negative 25. So our answer here is negative 8x minus 25 minus 88 over 2x minus 3. Alright, so I'm going to go back to long division on this one. And we're going to divide 20x squared by negative 4x. Okay, so 20 divided by 4 is negative 5. X squared divided by x, we subtract the exponent, so 2 take away 1 is x. Alright, I have two terms, so I'm going to put negative 5x over the second term. Okay, and then I multiply and I get 20x squared minus 5x. 20 take away 20 is 0, 19 take away negative 5 is positive 24x. We bring down the minus 3 and we go again. So we have 24x divided by negative 4x. X's divide out to 1. 24 divided by negative 4 is 6. Negative 6. So we're going to put negative 6 right here and then multiply. We get 24x minus 6. Subtract, that's 0. Negative 3, take away negative 6 is going to be positive 3. So our answer is negative 5x minus 6 plus 3 over negative 4x plus 1. Okay, so that's your review. Make sure you study over that. Your test will be on Wednesday.